Welcome in to I Remember My First Time.
Ooh.
Oh, don't be nasty, Jacob. Not that first time.
Damn it.
This is a podcast about cinematic awakenings.
Ooh, I like Cinematic Awakenings.
Where we discuss the movies we love with someone who just popped their cherry to that movie.
Oh, I love a good cherry pop.
What movie is it this week?
The 1997 classic, Batman and Robin.
Certifiably rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, I assume.
You would assume so. Jesus Christ, it's a movie for sure.
Jacob, are all the movies we do on this podcast going to be good movies?
Fuck, I hope not.
Do you like shitty movies?
I love shitty movies.
Are we critics?
No, absolutely not.
But do we love the shit out of movies?
We love the fucking shit out of movies.
Jacob, this movie is the bane of humanity.
This is going to be a cool podcast.
Jacob, chill out. This movie was hot, cold garbage.
I like this movie so much, I watched it twice.
I am BJ Leica, joined as always by Jacob Ekus.
And that's me.
We have a special guest on today. We have Batman DC enthusiast, certified gym rat, a fan of the American football Dallas Cowboys, and the European football Arsenal Gunners. Sounds like a miserable existence to root for those two teams. My brother-in-law, Bassal Carwat. Welcome in, Bassal.
Hey, nice to have me, guys. Can't wait to be on it. As you said, big Batman fan. You know, I live in mediocrity with my sports team, so all about disappointment. So about sums up this movie experience, but there was positives to be had for sure.
Oh, yeah. This movie had lots of positives.
I liked a significant amount of it.
It had more positives than negatives.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the negatives were more negative than the positives were positive.
Oh yeah, it was outweighed heavily. This movie's a bad movie, rightly so. But it's a bad movie I enjoyed.
Sure,
a lot.
Sure. So before we get into the movie, what kind of movies do you generally like? Do you have certain genres, actors, directors?
Big fan of most movies, to be honest. Like all genres, I'll watch anything for the most part. Directors, Scorsese, Tarantino, Nolan, you know, the big names for sure. You know, everything along those lines. I love the comic book hero movies. All the Marvel movies are great, or not all of them, but you know, the whole concept behind them. In general, I'm much more fan of like the DC comics, so I was really excited to watch this. Well, as excited as you could be, knowing like what you're gonna expect.
What did you expect going in?
I knew it was a pretty shit movie, but I was really interested in seeing like how, you know, they did Robin back in the day and that whole dynamic. I didn't know how campy and goofy it was gonna be. It really set the tone early for what to expect through the movie.
When it comes to Batman, do you like the comic books? Do you like the animated stuff? Or do you like the films, the movies?
So I grew up on the animated series. Absolutely loved it. And I go back to that all the time. And I still love like the movies now. The Dark Knight and like that trilogy is like all time, no doubt. But I also like am a huge fan of the Batfleck series, even though that kind of got its shit kicked in with everything that happened there. But
wasn't Ben Affleck's fault.
No, not at all. Like he was like right there with like the best part of like those movies. And like with the Batman, like I love that total different tone and everything. So I like the goofiness that you can get with Batman, but you can also get like the hardcore, you know, punch them till they're not actually dead, but they're really dead. And then, you know, the crime, getting behind, just solving everything. The detective part of Batman, the detective comics Batman.
I'm assuming your favorite Batman movie is The Dark Knight?
I would say the newest Batman is probably my favorite.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed it. I do like The Dark Knight's amazing. And maybe it's definitely time for a rewatch, and maybe there's a little recency, but I freaking love the Batman.
So we're kind of doing this podcast so we can do the Batman
Yeah.
next week
Yeah.
because I want to see it again,
Yeah.
and Jacob really wants to see it. So
Yeah.
this is just an excuse to do that podcast, really.
100%.
Yeah.
100% it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited. I started it in the first 15 minutes, that first fight scene. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because I love good violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing in movies.
Definitely.
I've never been a big comic book guy. I don't watch a lot of comic book movies, but all the old Batman movies, Blade with Wesley Snipes, the Dark Knight series. Yeah, so I like Batman.
Yeah.
Like Batman just as a character in movies, like always have been into it.
Yeah.
I love cartoons, but I never really watched the Batman animated series. Never really got into the Star Wars animated stuff either. So really just Batman movie guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up on the animated series, so I actually I think I prefer Batman animated than I do live action, and I'm interested to do the podcast next week because when I originally left the theaters, I was like, was the Batman better than the Dark Knight? Because even though it has an all-time great performance from Heath Ledger in the Dark Knight,
Yeah.
there's 35 minutes of that movie that kind of sucks. And I don't know if that's what I'm looking for in a movie.
And outside of that 35 minutes that kind of sucks, everything else is just, it's good. How many times have you rewatched The Dark Knight?
Several, for
Several.
sure. But it's been at least a few years.
I'm at a point where I just want to fast forward to the Heath Ledger scenes.
Yeah.
Like I want Christopher Nolan to come out with a Blu-ray version where there's a Heath Ledger button on the bottom of the screen. And I'm just like, boop.
Yeah, I feel like...
Next Joker scene, thanks.
Yeah.
Everything else in this movie sucks.
Yeah, I feel like The Dark Knight is more a Joker movie than a Batman movie.
And I almost think Batman's better when it's about the villains.
Yeah.
Because Batman's Batman. You can change Bruce Wayne a little bit, but it's about Bruce Wayne and the villains. Because Batman's kind of always Batman.
Are we going to say what our favorite Batman movie is right now? Because why not?
Go ahead.
Earlier, I was thinking that it was The Dark Knight, and now I'm changing it to Batman Begins. Because that whole movie, I was never bored the entire time.
Yeah.
I thought that movie was really well paced. I liked the darkness of it, and that's my favorite Batman movie to date.
I do think it's super underrated. I agree. I watched it on a flight last year, and I forgot how much I really enjoyed Batman Begins.
It's really good. You can tell they hadn't hit their groove on what they were going for because it's so different than all the other Batmans had been. But it's a really good movie.
I wish he had kept the pacing that he used in Batman Begins in The Dark Knight, because it would have been a much better movie for it.
Yeah. Because
Heath Ledger makes that movie a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
And that movie could have been an all-time top 10 movie, just all around.
And before we move on to the movie, I would like to recommend if you have HBO Max, they have some great animated Batman, The Long Halloween, Hush, Batman Year One, really good kind of animated movies about Batman. If you haven't seen those, go check them out if you have HBO Max.
Yeah. I think The Dark Knight Rises, not the sequel to...
Oh, the animated one?
Yeah, the animated one, which is what they try to base the Batfleck version off of, is really good. And that's what I really wish we got out of the Batfleck movies. Was just the older, grizzled down, he's always prepared and ready and will knock some teeth out, no hesitation.
Is Batfleck a commonly used term?
Maybe not in person, but on the internet it is for sure.
It's a Reddit term?
Yeah.
Reddit term for sure?
That's okay. I like it.
Batfleck.
I've enjoyed every time.
I'm going to adopt it.
I've enjoyed every time you said it. Yeah. Batfleck. So you have summaries for us. Movie summaries.
HBO gets right down to the point for Batman and Robin. The Cape Crusader and his cohort Robin battle a villainous Mr. Freeze.
HBO's the best. Nobody does it better.
No.
That is all you need to know about this movie.
Yep. That's what it is.
Rotten Tomatoes has this movie at 12%. That's not good.
No. That's real bad.
IMDb, 3.7 out of 10.
That's also real bad.
Yes. And Metacritic, 28%.
That's higher than I thought it would be for Metacritic.
I did too. The critics liked it more than the Rotten Tomato audience.
Okay.
Speaking of critics, Roger Ebert, of course, reviewed this movie. What do you guys think Raj thought about it?
Well, I'm 4 for 1 so far in this podcast on Roger. I feel like I'm getting a feel for him, and I know he hated this movie. I know he hated it.
Bassal?
I'd probably agree. He probably hated it as well.
2 out of 4 stars.
Son of a bitch.
50%.
Fuck him.
But I think this is a good movie example of why I don't like the 4-star system.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Because he did like parts of it. He really enjoyed the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
As did I.
Probably my first part of the movie. My favorite part of the movie.
Oh yeah. When the opening scene started, I was like,
yeah.
Why's everybody hating on this movie?
Yeah. No, this movie has a lot of good shit in it. Yeah, this is a good movie for the 4-star thing not to be. That's a good argument.
And this review right here, it's a long review, but Roger Ebert makes fantastic points. He talks about the Batman chin for a good paragraph and a half in this review. He mentions that Batman is about the villains. He's like, I don't care who plays Batman. It's a suit.
Yeah.
I think he called him Buzz Lightyear in a rubber suit. Roger's a funny guy, actually. Yeah. But I'm beginning to get more respect for Roger Ebert as this goes along.
Have you ever seen the movie Freddy Got Fingered?
No.
I'm excited to do that movie on this podcast so you can read Roger Ebert's review.
Roger Ebert might have just been like, I'm not watching a movie called Freddy Got
Fingered. He watched it and he wrote a review on it.
Oh, he did?
100%.
Awesome.
That's reason enough to do the pod.
We know what the critics thought about it. Box office. How'd it do?
It had a $125 million budget in 97.
That's a lot.
Yep. Schwarzenegger got $25 million of that.
Oh!
He got reportedly $25 million for Mr. Freeze.
That's highway robbery.
Yep. Opening weekend, June 22nd, $42 million. It made worldwide gross after 6 weeks to $238 million.
238 million. What's that in today's money?
$430 million.
It's not bad.
That's good for a movie.
That's this bad.
Right.
It is the first Batman movie to not be the highest grossing movie of the summer in which it was released.
97. Was that like Con Air?
I think so. It was one of the Nick Cage movies.
Con Air, Face
The
Off.
Rock, Face Off, yeah.
Good for Nick Cage.
Good for Nick Cage. But it still did incredible. $430 million. Jesus Christ.
That's a lot.
That's today's money.
For a movie that was panned immediately. So that's essentially, I think that's kind of Ant-Man Marvel movie territory.
Sure.
Which is kind of the lowest end of viewers anyway.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like Ant-Man. It's a heist movie. It's fun.
It's really good relative to some of the other early Marvel ones.
Yeah, I like Ant-Man.
Anything with Paul Rudd's great.
Sure.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen it, and I already know I like it because I like Paul Rudd.
Michael Douglas is in it too.
I hate him. I hate Michael Douglas. Show us your dick, bro.
That was like 2 weeks ago. Why are you still on Michael Douglas's dick?
Because Sharon Stone let it all out. She let it all out. You ever seen Basic Instinct?
I haven't, no.
Enjoy it. It's on HBO Max too.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's a great movie.
I have to give it a watch.
We have oh my god, we have an episode on that. You can listen to it after it.
I think I heard.
Oh, did you listen to some of it already? Yeah. Nice. Fuck yeah.
So, Bassal, this is your first time watching the movie. We talked a little bit about it, but what do you think overall?
I enjoyed it for what it was. It's definitely not like an amazing movie by any shot, but it was pretty easy to get through. Like, it didn't struggle. I broke it up in two, so that made it a lot easier. But the humor was funny. I think my main issue is it kind of struggled with, did it want to be funny or did it want to be serious? And I think most of the movie was trying to be funny. And then the random bits of seriousness is kind of just like, why is that there?
Yeah, you can't give me ice pun one-liners and then be like, oh, Alfred's dying of cancer.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, every time it was serious, it was like the worst movie.
Yeah.
Like, get back to the good shit.
Yeah.
You were doing such a good job at being bad.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're just being bad.
Yes.
First time watching it, Jacob? What do you think?
The first time I watched it, I was 9 or 10, and it was amazing. I was already a big Schwarzenegger fan by then. Had already seen Predator. Had already seen Terminator 2. So I was already a big Schwarzenegger fan. So fuck yeah, I love this movie. It was great. And then as a rewatch, I loved it probably just as much. I probably not, because as a kid, I probably didn't realize how bad the serious parts were.
True.
And as an adult rewatching this movie, I'm like, God, that shit's bad. But Schwarzenegger, his one-liners, Uma Thurman just fucking killing it.
Oh, she is going 110%.
I hated Alfred. He was my least favorite part of the movie, which says a lot because Alicia Silverstone was not very good as Batgirl. But I loved it. Yeah. I made it through one whole sitting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rolled myself up a little joint and enjoyed the fuck out of the movie.
I saw this movie in theaters for my 9th birthday.
So you thought it was cool as shit?
Oh, yeah. 9th birthday in theaters? Batman? Oh, of course. I still got a bunch of toys from this stupid movie. And yes, Batman has bat nipples on the toys.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. Awesome.
Thanks, Joel Schumacher.
Do your kids play with those just like they do the Jurassic Park ones?
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Rewatch, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Obviously, we all kind of know the jokes about this movie and how bad it is. The first 30 minutes, I was really enjoying myself.
Yeah.
And then it kind of lost me for a while. Mm-hmm. I had to break it up into 2 parts. I wasn't planning on it, but I got about an hour and 10 minutes through. I was like, no, I'm not making it. We'll watch the next 50 minutes tomorrow.
This bad boy's a 2-parter.
Yeah. Was there anything you guys found particularly funny watching the movie? Just little things?
I just love that it was a cartoon.
Yeah.
It was literally a live-action cartoon.
I loved Bane and just his repeating one word after everybody.
You liked that?
I did.
You hated that.
Oh, I hated it. Groot before Groot?
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. It's just, I don't know, because it was so different from like the Dark Knight Bane, and it's very comic booky, which like it just fit with the whole rest of the movie.
I thought that Bane was more Solomon Grundy than Bane.
Maybe, yeah, a little bit, but I just loved he reminds me of like he does the part very well compared to like the video games. I don't know if you ever played some of like the Arkham games. He's just big brute, all muscle, no brain. And just smashes. Okay. That's what I liked about him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an incredibly one-dimensional character.
Yeah, whatever. We're watching a live-action cartoon.
That's true.
That's all I wanted.
To the point where, according to a cast member, Joel Schumacher would, on a megaphone, remind everybody, "Hey, we're shooting a cartoon."
Oh, Uma Thurman heard that message loud and clear.
He set the tone from the get-go.
Yeah. And that's what he did. And he did a good job, and I enjoy the cartooniness of especially the action scenes.
I'm gonna make y'all Joel Schumacher fans by the end of this pod because I have so much good Joel Schumacher stuff. I'm a big Schumacher fan now.
One of the little takeaways for me is I guess magic exists in this world.
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze is a thing.
Sure. Yeah. The ice gun that can. Whatever you want to freeze somebody, you want to fill in a wall, whatever, it'll do it. We don't care.
It was literally nighttime, and they transitioned the satellites orbiting Earth to reflect the sunlight to melt Gotham.
Through the telescope. Which then became a laser for Sunbeam. Magic exists in this movie. 100%.
I actually loved that whole satellite sequence.
It was amazing to me. It was awesome.
After watching the Nolan series and the most recent Matt Reeves, The Batman, it was wild. There's lights in this movie. Yeah. There's colors.
The city itself was awesome. Oh, it was like Olympus meets New York, and you have giant statues of Atlas holding up the city, and it's like, what?
Oh yeah, Gotham looked cool as shit.
Arkham Asylum looked awesome.
Everything looked cool.
Yeah. The Gotham City was probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Diving a little deeper into this movie, we do an overarching discussion on every movie. This one could have been franchise killers, because there's quite a bit of them. And it did kill the franchise for a little bit. But I think the better talk on this one is what we think makes a good Batman / Bruce Wayne. I'll go first on this topic, because one thing that stood out to me was I felt like George Clooney was too cool to play Batman. How hard is it to be too cool to play Batman?
I feel like he's just more of a Bruce Wayne, just very suave, where he doesn't necessarily get his hands dirty kind of guy, which is what you would expect from a Batman. Someone to get out there and like hit the streets and like actually like knock some teeth out of criminals, whereas he's more like, let's go to these, fundraisers, be philanthropic, donate a freaking telescope to the city kind of Bruce Wayne. So I feel like that's why I didn't like his Batman relative to some of the other ones.
Well, George Clooney is super cool.
He is.
And I guess to answer your question, now that you bring up, is he too cool to be Batman? I'd almost argue that you don't want to be cool to be Batman. Like, I don't want a cool Batman. Like, Michael Keaton wasn't cool.
True.
Val Kilmer was cool.
Val Kilmer's cool.
He wasn't a very good Batman. Yeah. George Clooney's cool. Not a very good Batman. Christian Bale ain't fucking cool.
Great Batman.
Great Batman. I haven't seen the new Batman, but I know Robert Pattinson's not good. Not cool.
Yeah, he is not cool.
And y'all have already said it might be your favorite Batman movie, so I'm going to assume he was a good fucking Batman.
Great Batman.
Ben Affleck, when he got the role later in his career, was old and scruffy, like you were saying earlier, like, not cool.
Ben Affleck has the best Batman chin of any of the Batmans.
Yes. And I think that's what they were going for with Clooney.
Sure, because he's got
Batman
that big
chin.
Square.
Yeah.
But Bassal, you got a good Batman chin.
I think I can pull it off.
Yeah.
Just got to add like 50 pounds.
No, I'll just do what Pattinson did.
Yeah, just show up. You didn't gain weight. No, I didn't do that. You're going to put a suit on me anyways. Fuck
sure,
you guys.
Yeah, I'm not going to be shirtless in this movie. Who cares?
But so what do you think? You think cool Batman? Like,
you may have convinced me. You might be right. Batman's probably not cool. Or Bruce Wayne's probably not that cool.
He's rich. And rich people can come off cool even when they're not.
I think as far as Batman goes, you just have to kind of have some sort of athleticism to you. Mm. Look good in the fight scenes, look good running, comfortable riding a motorcycle, whatever. Bruce Wayne's the interesting one because you can go 20 different ways with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
You can make him a playboy. You can make him a douchebag. You can make him super emo, depressed. You can make him angry and vengeful. Mm-hmm. So I think I find Bruce Wayne more interesting than Batman.
I think with Bruce Wayne is he's going to change as he ages, whereas Batman's going to be Batman for the entirety of Batman's career.
He's going to be Batman forever.
Whoa. Whoa. Batman forever. Yep.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
I definitely thought I was going to have the first Batman Forever joke coming up, but you took it. I like it. But yeah, cool Batman, uncool Batman.
I think you're right. I think Batman doesn't need to be cool because he doesn't care about being cool, right?
No,
not one bit. So when you get George Clooney, who's objectively cool, when you get Val Kilmer, who's objectively cool, you don't quite get as interesting a Batman as rage-filled Christian Bale or emo Robert Pattinson.
Or whatever Michael Keaton was doing. Being Michael Keaton.
Yeah, that was just Michael Keaton.
We're going to edit that part out.
So even though we thought this movie was pretty bad as a whole, there are things we liked about it. Bassal, I'll start with you on what you liked the most about Batman and Robin.
I really liked Mr. Freeze in that movie. He was probably my favorite part of the movie. Just like his lines, his story. It was, true to his character, the whole plot with his wife. So he is like the sympathetic villain where you have, Bane, who's just a villain to be a villain. Like, you need both of those. And you don't need everyone to be a sympathetic villain, but I like that he was that guy. In tune with the theme of the movie, all the one-liners with, Arnold, that he just he is hilarious. Everything he says is so funny, and his just ownership of like his goons are like pretty great. Star Wars-esque with like the Star Troopers, just all terrible goons.
Arnold is very underrated in comedy.
Yeah, definitely.
And it very much shows through in this movie.
He's got like a delivery that you can't match due to his like accent and his just demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in this one, because usually the other comedies he does, he's with Danny DeVito or Sinbad, who are actual comedians.
Mm-hmm.
So it always seems a little less. But in this movie, he's the comic relief.
Yeah.
And I liked him as the comic relief.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job.
My favorite thing about the movie actually was Uma Thurman. I thought it was going to be Schwarzenegger, because it was when I was little.
Yeah.
But upon rewatch, it was definitely Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy. She killed it every time she was on screen. From the nerdy scientist, biologist,
Who cares? Botanist.
whatever.
Something.
She killed it there. She killed it as Poison Ivy every time she was on the screen.
And she just gets crazier and crazier as the movie goes on.
Absolutely loved it.
The hair's getting crazier. The leaf eyebrows are getting crazier.
I think everybody in the movie had to match it in some way. Like they could never have matched it because she was just on another level. But they were like, oh my god! Like you could see Chris O'Donnell just try to like match her to. It was awesome.
You can't match that level of craziness she was bringing.
It was awesome. The only person that got close was Schwarzenegger, and it's because he's painted blue with blue contacts and talking in ice puns.
Yeah. Glitter? Is there glitter on him?
He was like spray painted silver.
Okay.
Yeah, and blue.
So he was like the guy in New York City that stands there like the statue.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite thing?
Gotham in general. Gotham and the Bat toys.
Yeah.
I like the old school. I don't really care how it works. That's a really cool.
They just had everything. Like even the ice skates on the bottom of their shoes. They're just like boom. And I was like, oh my god.
Didn't the Batmobile have like snowmobile skis that came out at one point?
Yeah. Yes. When Batman free falls on the telescope along with the two scientists at the end, they fall for about 30 seconds, which means the observatory is located about 4 kilometers above ground, which is about 2.7 miles. So yeah, his bat gadgets reach that far.
Oh, science. What magic exists? Who cares about science?
We're just talking about bat gadgets.
Sure,
like they had everything.
Yes.
And Gotham was dope.
Yeah.
The super gothic kind of post-apocalyptic Mad Max feeling Gotham. I really wish we would have spent more time in Gotham, because I thought Gotham looked really cool in this movie.
I did too. Gotham was cool. I think Joel Schumacher he was in line to do 2 more Batman films, and he was going to go much darker, a lot of Dark Knight elements with the Batman. That's how he originally wanted to do it too, and the producers are like, no, we want a shitty, campy cartoon movie.
Ah, producers.
Yeah, and Joel Schumacher probably could have made a good Batman film, and I would have loved to see the Gotham that he created in these last 2 movies in a darker Gotham movie.
Oh, that would have been really interesting.
That would have been cool.
Kind of more of a city level, street level Batman.
Yeah.
Than just him versus villain.
Yeah, that would have been wicked.
I do think this movie, this may sound crazy. I'm gonna ask you this crazy question, and after I talk about it, you may agree with me. This is the most important movie for box office blockbuster cinema of the last 25 years.
BJ, what the fuck are you talking about? Say that one more time.
This is the most important movie for box office blockbusters of the last 25 years.
BJ, that's a blat.
The hell's a blat?
It's a BJ's wild ass theory.
Do I throw so many wild ass theories at you? You have a name for it?
Yeah, it's a blat.
Yeah, this is a blat.
Because what the fuck?
This movie.
Yeah, I heard you say twice.
This movie showed Hollywood that if you're making a comic book superhero movie, you can't just make it for kids. It has to be good. Because not long after this, the next superhero movies after this took a while because no one wanted to see another superhero movie.
They weren't even labeled as superhero movies. You had Blade.
X-Men.
Daredevil was in there.
Daredevil, yeah.
Well, you had the first X-Men and you had the first Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And those are fantastic adult actual movies, not cartoon brought to real life, live action cartoons.
Spider-Man came out in 2002.
I think X-Men was 2001.
Blade was 98, a year after this one. I don't know. You may be right. You and your blats.
So we would not get all the Marvel movies. We would not get the Dark Knight trilogy. This movie set all that up.
The new modern blockbuster.
Which is essentially just superhero movies.
Yeah.
Was done because this movie was so bad.
Thank you, Joel Schumacher.
Did a service to the comic book industry.
Blat. Ridiculous term.
Well, you come up with some ridiculous shit. They do not always make sense.
Are you ready to dive deep into this movie, guys? Deep into this movie.
I mean, if we get any deeper, she's getting pregnant for sure. I guess she's getting pregnant.
Because we're going. This is my favorite part. This is the Mount Rushmore of scenes.
So my fourth favorite scene is in the middle of the movie when they go to Mr. Freeze's lair.
Okay.
That's when we get the master plan from Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze after they get back to the new lair when they ditch the old one.
Right.
I love a good master plan. Roger hates it. He might have mentioned it in the movie, but the super villain fallacy.
Talking villain fallacy.
Talking villain fallacy. I love it. Whatever. I love that Mr. Freeze's lair had exit signs. That was probably my favorite part about it. Fire safety.
You still got to be up to fire code, even though it's a secret lair.
I was watching this scene and I saw it and I'm like, I didn't just see an exit sign. And then I kept watching. I'm like, no, that's a fucking exit sign for sure. It says exit. I love Batman and Robin's fake breakup.
Okay, yeah.
Just super campy fake breakup. The next scene, they're back together. Robin's in the green gloop. Ivy kills Mrs. Freeze in this scene. Like, it was a pivotal scene.
Poison Ivy breaks the fourth wall in this scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Commissioner Gordon does the only thing of relevance in this movie from him. He turns off the freeze thing in the Mr. Freeze's lair so all his men live. Other than that, he was fucking useless.
You hated Alfred, I hated Commissioner Gordon.
That's fair. Because he was fucking useless.
I want Gordon to be competent, at the very least.
Yeah.
Just make him competent.
He was not. So yeah, that's my fourth favorite scene.
I feel like there are several scenes in there.
Well, they can be long.
Yeah,
they can also be short. Like, sometimes when we're watching a movie, it's just like, I mean, technically this scene really doesn't end until like this story arc is over.
Look, we're like Elon Musk on this podcast. We support freedom.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, just like Elon Musk. Thank you, BJ. What's your fourth favorite scene? Keep it short now. You know how short mine was, goddammit.
Probably the final act was my fourth favorite.
So where do you start this? That was your fourth favorite for one?
Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way. That was your fourth favorite of the final act?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think overall my favorite part of the film was the first third of it.
Okay.
So the final act with everything involving like the fight at the telescope, freezing the city, and then unfreezing the city was probably my fourth favorite part of it.
So it starts at the observatory.
Yeah.
Not with the Poison Ivy.
Yeah, at the observatory and the destruction of the observatory and freezing the city and then the process to unfreeze the city.
Oh, yeah, the ridiculous sun laser telescope.
And there were parts of it that I really liked because I really liked the sun laser.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
So I thought Alicia Silverstone and Chris O'Donnell had really good chemistry.
I did too.
In that. And they only went to that like twice in this movie.
She had a lot of scenes in this movie that were ultimately cut because she ended up gaining weight and couldn't fit into her costume. And she was actually badmouthed. And Joe Schumacher in '96 stood up for her and was like, "That's some bullshit. That like, girl wanted to eat some pizza. All of us gain weight sometimes." And then he called out a specific female reporter and was like, "You're gonna bash this girl when so many girls and women struggle with bulimia and anorexia, and you're gonna do this shit?"
Woke Schumacher.
Yeah. Yeah, so we could have gotten a lot more of that because they did have great chemistry. And I think that would have made the Batgirl character a lot better.
Sure. My fourth favorite scene, it had nothing to do with the plot line whatsoever. It was when Batgirl goes to the motorcycle race and Robin saves her, because that's the most we get to see of Gotham, and Gotham was my favorite part. So seeing all that through Gotham, I really enjoyed, even though I fully understand that this scene had absolutely nothing to do with the movie and could have been cut.
I mean, no, it needed to be in the movie because now you got to know that Alicia Silverstone is competent to be Batgirl. There were no holes in this movie, Brandon.
there are a whole. This movie has more holes than Swiss cheese, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man. Okay, but good fourth scene. I'd be surprised if that makes either one of our lists. I know it doesn't make mine.
No, and like I said, it had nothing to do with the movie. I just liked seeing more of Gotham.
Yeah. My third favorite scene was the bidding gala. From the moment it started, old rich white dudes bidding on young attractive women. I'm like, yep, I like you already. This scene is uncomfortable and gross. You're automatically in my top 4.
This scene made me so uncomfortable.
Yep. And then Poison Ivy shows up in the gorilla suit, and you have all those hunk men with their 6-packs and whatnot glistening with sweat. Everything, like, it was so uncomfy. Loved it. Uma Thurman says, what does she say? My garden needs tending. I love it. I loved it. Batman and Robin bidding on Poison Ivy, pulling out the Batman Forever credit card. I had to rewind it.
Never leave home without it.
Never leave home. I had to rewind it to make sure it said Batman Forever. I was like, what the fuck? And then right after Robin says he would just borrow the money from Batman, he tells Batman that that's a utility belt, not a money belt. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And then Mr. Freeze shows up and starts just fucking shit up like he does. And I end this with the car chase scene.
Oh, were they
driving over the statues and the rooftops in Gotham? I was like, that's my motorcycle scene.
Sure.
And this is another long scene for me because I'm just like, from the moment the gala started, like, for me, it didn't end until they caught Mr. Freeze. And I was just like, oh my God, yes.
That was a very fun scene.
That was actually my number 2 scene.
Okay.
That whole thing. Because that was like when Poison Ivy became Poison Ivy.
Yes, with the love dust.
Yeah, and it's funny because she revealed her name. She's like, my name's Poison Ivy.
I didn't notice that.
She had to think about it because she didn't have a name at that point. She was like, yes, this is my name now.
I also read on my trivia that her outfit in this scene was inspired by her original outfit in the comics. Mm-hmm. You knew that? I'm assuming you knew that.
The green.
Yep.
Yeah.
I loved the Poison Ivy outfits.
Yeah. Well, such a great scene.
Yeah.
Your third favorite scene?
My third favorite was the creation of Bane and then the creation of Ivy, how that one doctor tried to kill her and then she comes back alive and then...
That doctor was great.
Yeah.
He was on screen for, 4 minutes?
He was actually in... but he was I don't know if you guys watched Smallville, but he was Daddy Luthor in Smallville.
Oh, nice.
All right.
I bet he played a good one there.
Yeah, he was really great. Dad Luthor, I remember... Lionel Luthor in Smallville.
That was a good scene, and like I said, Uma Thurman was my favorite thing about this movie.
Yeah. So rank the super soldier serum scenes of the Wolverine origins, Captain America, and Bane.
I would go Wolverine, Bane, Captain America.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to second that one.
Yeah.
I've seen Captain America too. So I feel like I can accurately weigh in on this.
Yes, the Wolverine Origins, not a great movie. That scene's fantastic.
Really good. And the way he pops out when he's like done with like the treatment, whatever you want to call it, and he's just pissed and his claws are freaking adamantium. Freaking amazing.
The best part of being my age was watching Hugh Jackman and I'm like I've stated, not a big comic book movie fan, but when I saw X-Men and just that opening scene with he's fighting that guy in the octagon or whatever cage, and then every time Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine, even the origin story, I'm like, this is the fucking tits. Saw that shit in theaters.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is great.
We were blessed.
We were.
Definitely.
Again, happened because this movie was so bad.
I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate you. Go with your third favorite scene.
So my third favorite scene is the Poison Ivy fight, the penultimate battle. I really enjoyed Rubber Lips. Cracked me up. Again, cool bat gadget with his little angle saw that he pulls out to get all the ivy off of him.
Is that when Batgirl shows up?
That is when Batgirl shows up and beats the shit out of Poison Ivy.
And they're all in matching suits now. All of a sudden, they like changed. Like
we get one of the best one-liners from the movie from Alicia Silverstone. You're about to be compost.
I loved that.
Yes.
And she's like, it's me, Barbara. Like, how do you not know it's me? I'm just barely wearing anything over my eyes.
At one point, when they're riding through like the Ice City, she has a helmet on, but it's a bat cowl. And then she takes it off after they get off the bike, and she just has the covering over her eyes. And I was like, why don't you just keep it on then?
Who cares? Who cares?
Doesn't matter. It worked.
Did she gain too much weight in her eyes to do that?
100%.
I really enjoyed that. It was just the epitome of campiness. Yeah. That's how the old Batman cartoons would end, with something stupid like that, and I loved it.
So my second favorite scene is the introduction to Mr. Freeze and the hockey team from hell.
Number one for me.
That was my number one.
Freeze in the art museum.
Click your heels together, make the ice skates pop
Click your
out.
heels together, the ice skates. He's got a freeze rocket, and his suit has fucking wings.
Yeah.
The usage of Cowabunga and Batman and Robin snowboarding through the air. Awesome. Airboarding? Is that airboarding?
Sure.
And then it ends in the most perfect way possible. Your emotions make you weak. That's why this day is mine.
Oh, man,
I love Arnold
because it starts off,
and I forgot how good Uma Thurman was in this movie because that wasn't my focus when I was 9 or 10. So when that scene ended and he ended it with that line, I'm just like, oh, I'm in for such a fucking treat. This is gonna be so good.
And it immediately starts. It's a Batman movie, and it starts with showing us bat gadgets.
Yep.
And anatomically correct rubber bat suits.
Yep. You had the bat nipples. You had George Clooney's double butt shot. Like, I was like, oh my God, he had a fantastic butt.
He did.
Like, whoa. And then Robin's was just as anatomically correct.
Sure.
Loved it. So yeah, that was my number 2. And y'all's number 1, what did I miss?
Skull cod pieces on the hockey team from hell.
Okay.
They have skulls as cod pieces.
Yep.
It's wonderful.
They were playing hockey with a diamond.
They were.
Yeah.
In an art museum.
And so in Star Wars: A New Hope, what are the little sand people called?
Tusken Raiders.
His crew was dressed like the Tusken Raiders. I just expected them halfway through that fight scene to go
with their hockey sticks over their head.
Exactly. So cartoony.
Yeah.
What a great cartoony scene.
So the final showdown wasn't in your... Oh yeah, it was, I guess, with Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
So my number one scene is another long one. Sorry, Bassal.
You're good.
It starts with the final showdown against Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy, and then it goes until Batman saves the doctors on the telescope. Because to me, it was the final showdown. It was the accumulation of Batman and Robin beating the bad guys, and it was awesome. Freezing all of Gotham, the dog, all the people, the police cars. Like, no wonder this movie had such a big budget. They froze a police car, which obviously not really, and ran it into a fucking building.
It's time to kick some ice.
I loved all the different Batmobiles. Yeah, it's time to kick some ice. Like and the started off with Uma Thurman and how sexual her new lair is. Just all the openings and more openings, and then the flower opens. I'm just like, Jesus Christ!
I would pay a lot for that apartment.
Like, whoa. So yeah, that was my number one, and I love the doctors. Them just losing shit on the telescope as Mr. Freeze is like shooting everything, and they're just like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
George Clooney's like, hey, hold on. Don't die.
He just leaves them after falling 2.7 miles.
How are they going to get out of that canyon?
They're not. And they were just like, thanks, Batman, you're the best.
I loved the scientists. They may have been my favorite part of the movie. They were great.
So yeah, that was my number one scene.
Bassal, your number two scene?
My number two scene was... it was your number three scene.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay.
My number three scene, I'll tell you. It was Mr. Freeze's lair. No. It was the intro.
The auction scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so the intro to Poison Ivy and the bidding and everything that involved that was my number two.
Poison Ivy getting out of the gorilla costume.
Yeah.
Awesome. So the one I had as number two that nobody mentioned was Poison Ivy breaking Mr. Freeze out of Arkham. I thought Arkham looked so cool.
Oh,
in this
man,
movie.
we skipped your number two?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, man. The Arkham scene was good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Poison Ivy breaking Mr. Freeze out of Arkham.
And did that scene start with them putting Mr. Freeze in Arkham?
Yes, yeah.
Because that was great, too.
Where they got to put him in the little cold cone or whatever they have for him.
Like a 3 square foot area of just AC on him. That's the only spot he can move in.
Yeah, and he thinks because he's Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's like, I can beat these two motherfuckers easy. He's straight up, allow me to break the ice. My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it's a chilling sound of your doom. And then he just falls apart because it's not cold.
Everyone does their part. Bane just beats the crap out of people. Poison Ivy does her poison lips thing. And then Bane can't break out of reinforced steel. Because apparently some science does exist. So
only when it needs to.
So what do you do when that you freeze the pipes? Don't forget to winterize your pipes.
Oh my god.
which I thought was a little bit sexual.
So many things about this movie were sexual. It wasn't just that part.
We did it. We finished the Mount Rushmore of scenes. Oh, actually, no, we haven't. Does anybody have any honorable mention ones that we haven't brought up?
No, the ones that y'all did that I didn't put on my top 4 were honorable mentions.
I feel the same way. Yeah. We talked about every scene you need to watch.
Yeah. We talked about all the scenes that weren't serious. Because those sucked butthole.
They did.
Yeah. The scene where Robin wanted his independence from Batman just kind of didn't fit at all.
I didn't understand Robin. I didn't understand Dick Grayson at all.
Yeah.
I understood Robin. I didn't get Dick Grayson at all.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Dick Grayson is Robin.
Yes.
Is Batman's Bruce Wayne.
Correct. Because did he have a thing for Batgirl? Did he not? Did he really want to go out on his own?
Oh, he 100% wanted to diddle in that cooter.
The Bat Cooter?
The Bat Cooter. Oh my god, speaking of Bat Cooters, Alfred at the end of the movie, we're going to need a bigger cave. Fuck off. Like, get the fuck out of here. And yes, I'm sorry, Cooters made me think of a cave, okay?
We need to have a discussion about that.
No, we don't. I realized it was derogatory. That's why I fucking brought it up before anybody else could.
I can see how you got there.
And now on to character breakdown, which on this movie, we have to start with Joel Schumacher.
Yeah, the director of this film, Joel Schumacher. Jacob, can you remind me what some of the more popular movies Joel Schumacher directed was?
Well, he did Batman Forever.
Of course.
With Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones. Have you seen that one?
I have not, no.
Fuck yes, you said we weren't doing that. He did The Lost Boys with Kiefer Sutherland.
Wow.
He did
River Phoenix.
The Client, written by John Grisham.
Mm-hmm.
A Time to Kill, written by John Grisham.
A Time to Kill is a great
Matthew
movie.
McConaughey, Kevin Spacey, Samuel Jackson.
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock, yes. Donald Sutherland. The Phantom of the Opera. Phone Booth, 8mm with Nick Cage. So he makes good films, which is why I think he would have made really good Batman movies.
Right.
Or Batman films, however you want to look at it.
Sure. But they got a film guy to direct a live-action cartoon?
Yes. Which I'm going to get, when we get to my little trivia, I have trivia about Joel Schumacher. I'm going to make you a fan. I'm going to wait till trivia.
Oh, no, this movie does not...
No,
sway me away from Joel Schumacher.
No,
but I don't know much of him personally.
I just mean as a person.
Okay.
Like, good guy. But yeah, so Joel Schumacher makes good movies. And he made a trash can of a movie here. But he had fun doing this movie.
Good.
Like I said, he started every shoot with, "Hey guys, remember we're shooting a cartoon." So.
And Uma Thurman was like, "I got you, bro."
Yeah. So, I mean, fuck, so was Arnold.
True.
He's like, let's fucking do this. George Clooney as Batman.
Probably my least favorite Batman.
Yeah.
Of the ones I've seen, my least favorite. And I'm like 2000s forward.
Okay, so you haven't seen the Michael Keaton Batmans?
Not that I can remember.
The only one that's in the conversation is Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
As far as worst Batman.
Yeah.
But
I just wanted to know if you'd seen the Michael Keaton ones. But yeah, no, Val Kilmer was an average Batman. George Clooney was bad.
Yes.
But George Clooney doesn't care. This movie took him into Hollywood.
So he was ER guy at this point,
He was ER guy, and the only other movie he had done was From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, okay.
The Robert Rodriguez flick.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I know it well.
Yeah, that movie is fucking... I just recently rewatched it. But yeah, no, George Clooney, not a good Batman. Not a good Bruce Wayne either.
No, and... Yeah, so... And the weird thing is, of the people that have played Batman, I probably like George Clooney the most.
Yeah.
As a actor. Bale's probably a better actor, but I always like what George Clooney brings to roles.
Sure.
But just weird that I think he's the worst Batman, despite how much I like him.
He just wasn't meant for this role.
No.
Makes a good Bruce Wayne, not Batman.
Okay.
I think that's the difference with George Clooney. I feel like all the other guys, at least in the 2000s, pull off pretty good to great Batmans.
George Clooney's a terrible runner on screen.
Yeah.
He does not look good running or fighting.
And you have to look good fighting as Batman.
And it might have been the suit's fault.
Yeah, I mean, did you like how they couldn't move his neck?
You know, I never really pay attention to that detail.
All the 90s Batman suits, they can't move their neck.
I knew that was
It's stationary to their upper body.
Yeah. I need to go back and look at that detail because
Yeah.
it's something I missed, honestly.
Yeah. Started doing that with Christian Bale. Arnold Schwarzenegger is Mr. Freeze.
Top build on this movie.
Yep.
Ahead of Batman.
The only other time this happened was Jack Nicholson over Michael Keaton.
I can see that.
Yep. Arnold Schwarzenegger made $25 million on this movie. Of course he was top billed.
I'm so jealous.
He was at the height of his game.
Yeah. I said
he had to have heart surgery after this movie. Everybody was really worried about shooting scenes with Schwarzenegger because he had an action movie to do right after this movie. He had heart surgery in between movies.
What was wrong?
I don't remember.
Too much steroids?
No. I don't think so.
He's natty?
Yep. But his one-liners are great in this movie.
That's the best part of the Mr. Freeze character is the one-liners.
Yes.
I don't care what that one critic said.
No. Like, this movie's just supposed to have fun. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was having fucking fun. Speaking of Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
And Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
We have another Mount Rushmore, BJ.
Double Rushmore again?
2 weeks in a row.
Yes.
Double Rushmore. Top 4 ice puns from Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze. I'll go first in my top 4.
Okay.
Always winterize your pipes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's kick some ice. You're not sending me to the cooler. And what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
It did not.
I don't care. It was fucking great. No particular order. Those are my top 4.
Okay, so top 4, no particular order. My favorite, though, is don't forget to winterize your pipes.
Yep.
It's awesome. And it's a good lesson for everybody who lives in cold places. Winterize your pipes. ERCOT.
Boom.
That was a joke that only people from Texas understand. But I don't care. Freeze in hell, Batman. Just because it makes no sense. I love it that it makes no sense. I have a suspicion you wrote this one down, but it was a really long quote where he talks about, "I am Mr. Freeze, remember my name, as it is your doom." I don't remember the whole quote, but it was super long.
I've got it written down.
Go
That's
for
in my top 4. My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it is the chilling sound of your doom.
The chilling sound of your doom.
The chilling sound of your doom.
And I have to add one. So this wasn't said by Mr. Freeze. And I bring this up for a couple reasons. One, Vivica A. Fox is in this movie for some reason. So she's one of Mr. Freeze's henchmen. Her name is Miss B. Haven.
I love that.
So she's really after that Arnold dick in this movie. For the one scene she's in.
She's one scene.
And he just completely ignores her and she goes, "Ooh, talk about a cold shoulder."
Oh my god. Vivica A. Fox. Talk about a cold shoulder.
Miss B. Haven.
All right, Bassal, your top 4. We already know one of them. The chilling sound of your doom.
Other ones in no particular order. Allow me to break the ice. And then you had, I think, who killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Yes.
And then probably my number 1 is, I loved it for no reason. Tonight's forecast, a freeze is coming.
That was one of my honorable mentions.
One other one I like because it's just so like casual. All right, everyone, chill.
Arnold.
Arnold was great in this.
Fantastic. I said earlier, but my favorite part of the film, definitely.
Arnold.
Yeah.
The number 2 villain in this movie, Uma Thurman, Poison Ivy. I think we all just love what she was doing.
Yeah.
Even though I have no idea what she was doing, but I loved it.
She was killing it.
No, she did great. And they kind of had some plot going there for her. She's like, we got to save the planet. But then we never got back to that after Bruce Wayne denied her little, government.
Yeah, let's save the planet by killing every living thing on it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that all environmental terrorists do in every movie.
Right.
Let's kill the entirety of the problem, except me. Like, I'll be good.
Sure. And you chain yourself up to a 100-year-old oak tree so the city doesn't destroy it. And next thing you know, you're killing 7 billion people.
Yeah.
Story as old as time.
Yeah. Wasn't surprised by it at all. In fact, it aged quite well.
Yeah, we were worried about the environment in 1997.
Kind of. At least in Batman and Robin. Woke Joel Schumacher.
There was another woke moment where Batgirl announced her, and she's like, "I found me Batgirl," and then George Clooney's Batman's like, "Why not Batwoman?" Or something. And she's like, "No, Batgirl works better."
Or when she's fighting Poison Ivy, and she's like, passive aggressive little woman thing that you do makes a bad name for women. We're strong. And I was like, oh, okay, woo.
I have no idea where this came from, but okay.
Go back.
This has not been your character this whole movie.
Go back, girl. Love it.
Uma Thurman breaks the fourth wall, and then we just never go back to breaking the fourth wall. We just do it once, where she's like, "That's why every Poison Ivy action figure comes with Bane," and then we never do it again. This happens 2/3 of the way through the movie.
I must have missed that part.
Oh, it's in there.
Oh my gosh, I love breaking the fourth wall. I wish I wouldn't have missed it.
And they don't do it again. Why? Don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Don't really care.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Wow, that's cool. Fuck, I wish I wouldn't have missed that.
Do we need to go over the others in this movie?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, just end it. Oh wait, I guess Poison Ivy, Uma Thurman.
No, well, that's what we just did.
Yeah.
But do we? Alicia Silverstone was Batgirl. Chris O'Donnell was Robin.
Nah.
Alfred Bane.
Nah.
Who cares?
I
Not
said
me.
my piece with that Bane. I liked it,
Okay.
but it was, the one dimension that you wanted to see from the Bane.
Sure. Trivia Man. What do you got for us today?
I have so much trivia on this movie.
You warned us about this.
There was so much. I got tired of looking at it.
Okay.
And I love looking at movie trivia. Bassal, you don't know this, but after every movie, I look up trivia.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious. Even movies I've already seen, because I'm just like, let's brush up on this trivia. So, yeah.
The best thing on IMDb, right?
I think so. That's why I go there every time. And you try to look up trivia in other places, and it's just like, this is just IMDb. They just word it differently.
I didn't even know that was a part of IMDb.
Oh, yeah. You just scroll to the bottom, there's trivia. Every movie, every episode to every show. There might not be a lot.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there's an insane amount.
Yeah.
Like the 1997 Joe Schumacher creation, Batman and Robin. So I'm going to start with George Clooney. I also have this broken up into bits.
Oh, that's how long it is?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So George Clooney has been known to refund people who have seen this film. Yeah.
Clooney's the best.
Clooney is the
Clooney's
best.
the best.
What email address can I reach out to for that?
No kidding. Like, pay for this month of HBO, please. He's called this film a waste of money. But in later interviews, as time has gone on, he's also called it the biggest break he's ever had since it got him into Hollywood, resulting in more successful roles. Because like we've already talked about, he was ER guy before this.
Yeah, hunky doctor.
In fact, while filming Batman and Robin, he would show up to the ER set in full Batman regalia.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
I'm here for the kids.
Yeah. He's like, what up, guys? How we doing? After filming was over, he's quoted in saying, "I think we just killed the series."
And he's smart. He's a foreseer.
He was on top of your blat way before you were.
Clunstradamus over here.
Clunstradamus, Jesus Christ.
That's not as good as Batfleck.
It wasn't, but that's okay. Uma Thurman felt the campy and farcical, and I love the term farcical.
Because it sounds like fartsicle.
Yep. Tone in this film, enjoyed the creative license she was given in regards to her character, and credits Batman and Robin as less of a career killer and more of her first real experience with a high-budget Hollywood blockbuster.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Glad she enjoyed it. We enjoyed her.
I have some good shit about our buddy Joel here.
So we're going to like him by the end of this?
Yes. He had several meetings with Warner Brothers trying to convince them to let him make another Batman movie. He wanted to take the film back to its darker roots and make Batman Year One. Schumacher wanted to cast Kurt Russell as young Commissioner Gordon and Selena Kyle as a young, beautiful African-American woman living in the ghetto. Warner Bros. Decided not to rehire Schumacher, and the next Batman film stayed in development limbo until Batman Begins.
So the Batman, the new one, has a lot of year one influence.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And
I'm excited for that. We could have got that back in the early 2000s. I think Schumacher would have been good.
Halle Berry's Catwoman again?
Maybe. That movie was bad, though.
It was.
That movie was bad. In later interviews, Schumacher blamed studio pressure to make this film more, quote, toy-tic, as a showcase for marketable toys and games. In a making-of documentary of the DVD, he apologized to disappointed fans.
I've got bat nipple toys.
Yeah.
You don't have to apologize to me.
But not to you, but other people. You sure would. He delivered this film 2 weeks ahead of schedule.
What is that?
He had fun making this film. I love that. He had fun, like 2 weeks out of schedule. Like, here, bitches, this is what you want. This is everything you wanted. He took full responsibility for the film's failure, saying, quote, "I didn't do a good job. George Clooney did. Chris O'Donnell did. Uma Thurman is brilliant in it. Arnold Schwarzenegger was Arnold Schwarzenegger."
Yeah, it's not your fault, Joel. The producers made you do this.
But that's okay. Like, in fact, in this next one, he states why he blames himself. The screenwriter Alvica Goldsman was blamed for ruining the movie. Joel Schumacher defended him, quote, saying, "Goldsman was blamed for this sort of lightness and humor and fun and games, but that's not fair. I take full responsibility. I mean, Goldsman did write the script, but I shot it and worked with Goldsman. So, if you love a movie, there are hundreds of people who made it lovable for you. If you don't like it, blame the director. That's what our names are there for."
So basically,
I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
He's a homie.
So that's always been my dream job, is I wanted to get paid a shitload of money just to take the blame for everything that goes wrong. Like, I don't actually want to do anything.
So you want to be Commissioner Goodell?
Yes, yeah. That's it. That's what I want. I want to make $20 million a year, and everybody hate me and be like, "Oh yeah, it's my fault.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
My bad. So there was a new form of light rubber used to make the superhero costumes that helped the costumes way less than any other Batman film. They just ripped and tore easily. And I only included that because I found this trivia fucking bonkers. The Batman costume was 50 pounds of rubber bodysuit.
Okay.
That was the lightest?
With a 40-pound rubber cape attached to the headpiece.
So he's walking around with 90 pounds?
Yeah.
God damn.
And it's the lightest Bat costume so far. Batgirl's and Robin's costume weighed 50 pounds.
I apologize to George Clooney for calling him a terrible runner.
Yeah.
I'm not running well with 90 pounds on me.
No shit. Mr. Freeze's weighed 75 pounds.
Yeah, 75 pounds to Arnold is like
nothing. But it's just the costumes were insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
George Clooney and his stunt doubles went through 50 rubber bat suits. 50 of those bad boys.
They didn't care about the environment like Poison Ivy.
It took Chris O'Donnell 4 hours to get into his Robin costume.
Oh.
This might have been my favorite bit of trivia. Celebrities like Jesse Ventura and John Bon Jovi would stop by set to hang out with Schwarzenegger and smoke cigars. Bon Jovi would hand-deliver the Cuban cigars to set, which Schwarzenegger would have painted white so that he could smoke them during filming. For real. There was an 11-person team required to get the actor into his makeup and costume for Mr. Freeze. The team had to work fast because Schwarzenegger had a strict 12-hour limit per day written into his contract and would have handlers feeding him and massaging his hands while he was in the makeup chair.
What a diva.
Schumacher's second choice for Mr. Freeze was Stallone. His third choice was Hulk Hogan.
Can I get that?
Can I get a Hulk Hogan Mr. Freeze? That's what I'm fucking saying.
Listen here, brother. You're about to freeze in hell, brother.
The fourth choice was Christopher Lloyd.
Like Back to the Future, Christopher Lloyd?
Yeah, as Mr. Freeze. Would have been great.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it at all. In the original series, this is the only movie where none of the villains are killed by Batman or any of his allies. You killed the Joker, you killed Penguin, you killed Two-Face.
I mean, Poison Ivy died.
No, she didn't die.
Did she not die?
Uh-uh.
I thought she got eaten by her own...
She just got trapped.
Oh.
It was lame. Nobody died. Although this is considered a flop, the film was the highest grossing Warner Bros. Film of 1997. And with that, it was voted the number one in Empire's Magazine's 50 worst movies ever made.
Number one?
Number one. Because it's a blockbuster.
It's bad.
And it's a blockbuster.
They spent $128 million to make a bad movie.
Yep. At least it made all its money back.
Yeah, and then some. Doubled it.
Yep. That's all my trivia.
Don't movies need to like get past the double? Because I think, or is it? Always forget because the budget for a movie, I don't know if it takes into account marketing.
I think it does, but it doesn't take into account the movie the money they made from selling toys, etc.
Right.
Lunchboxes.
Yeah.
All the bat nipple toys that I have. I'm
So
gonna try to tweak the bat nipples next time I go over there.
Don't come.
I won't.
Don't remember your first time tweaking bat nipples. Movie impersonations. That's our next segment, BJ.
I think we all know what this one's gonna be.
Well, I sure did fucking think so. Arnold.
Sure.
It's got to be Arnold.
Is it Arnold or is it Arnold?
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll start it off because
Okay.
I'm usually pretty bad at these.
Yeah.
So
Notoriously so. He's awful at them.
Hold my beer. I'll give you a run for your money.
So this is my pseudo method acting Arnold Schwarzenegger. Clooney, stop pranking the cast and crew. It's not cool.
Oh my god.
Uma, you need to chill out. Your overacting needs to chill. Joel, you need to freeze this movie from being made because this movie sucks ice.
you had a little bit of Indian in there. I really liked it.
I'm also very disappointed that there was not a line in this movie of something to the effect of "Get to the chiller."
That would have been amazing. Get to the chiller. All right, Basil, you're next, man.
Oh shit! All right, here we go. Can I just do a repeat of a quote in the line?
Sure,
Of course.
sure, yeah.
Oh man, my favorite quote from him. My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it is the chilling sound of your doom.
That was better than his.
The best part about that one is the doom.
Any hardcore metal fans out there, there's a band called Austrian Death Machine where all the lyrics are about Schwarzenegger movies. And then in between every two songs, a fake Schwarzenegger guy will come on and talk. So my impersonation is something from that album, the first one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Hey guys, I have a sweet idea for a song title. It's called Discombobulated Corpse Demonization, Urbanization, Globalization, Montezuma's Power Revenge. Come on, say it with me.
That was amazing. Well done.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you. Now it's time for what we did not like about the movie. And I think we beat that part to death. All the serious parts.
The movie's a mess.
Yeah.
All the characters are in different movies.
I don't care that it's a mess. I don't care that they're all in different movies. I hated the serious parts.
Chris O'Donnell is in a live action cartoon when he's Robin, and when he's Dick Grayson, he's in a teenage rom-com. It's so fucking weird.
And Alfred was, again, the serious scenes. Alfred was never in a scene that wasn't serious, and I hated every one of the scenes. That's the only thing I hated about the movie. Everything else I was cool with.
Yeah, I agree. Was not a fan of this movie's Alfred at all. Just didn't hit anything. And we've had so many really great Alfreds, so this one was just...
Michael Caine, Jeremy Irons,
Yeah.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
This Alfred made no sense.
No. What would you rate this movie?
So I enjoyed too much of it to give it a low score, but I also had to watch it in two different sets. It was so bad. So I think that puts it in about the 4.0 range. If I'm watching a movie twice, it can't be above a 5. But if I enjoyed as much as I did, it can't be below a 3. Even though it's trash, I got it around a 4.
I would also say a 4.
Well, we have all the same score because I'm a 4. Keep going. You think what?
I was going to say, the only thing about it is, like, the acting doesn't necessarily age well. It reminds me very much if, like, you ever go back and rewatch, like, A New Hope, And like the fighting in there, it's super cartoony. You know what I mean? It's not new age comics where they're like you can feel the action.
Yeah, I also give this movie a 4 though, and I love the shit. I mean, I watched the movie one sitting.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a 4. Like there was nothing about it that was good enough to put it over the 4 range.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed watching it, so it can't be like you said below a 3.
Yeah,
because I enjoy 3s too.
it was fun.
It's shockingly enjoyable for how bad a movie it is.
Yeah.
You have to know going into it that you're watching a shitty movie.
100%. And I feel like I do a great job with that. That's probably my best movie watching quality is any movie that I'm going into, I know what I'm getting into. Like I remember in high school I went and watched The Love Guru and everybody was like, that movie fucking sucked. And I was like, actually, I watched a really funny Mike Myers movie where he just acted ridiculous as an Indian guru. And that's 100% what I expected. TM. So, like, when I watch movies, I know what I'm getting into. Good, bad, action, serious. Like, it doesn't matter.
So, we usually ask if they should remake this movie. They should not remake this movie. But
you can do this movie as a cartoon.
Sure, not as a live action movie.
No.
Even a campy 30-minute Batman episode series, that'd be fine. Where there's 20 minutes of action sequences in the 30-minute show, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought what's more interesting is, does anybody have any good ideas for Batman movies? Because my idea for a Batman movie has always been kind of an older Bruce Wayne realizing he's too old to beat Batman. He can't do this. Father Time is undefeated. So he kind of runs for public office and tries to change Gotham that way, as well as still being tail end of his career Batman. I always thought that would be an interesting Batman movie.
I'd even be cool if that was the story of Bruce Wayne as a younger man too.
Kind of early Batman to because he's seeing, and that's not bad because he's seeing, should I be Batman or should I be a public servant? Which one helps the city more? And he discovers that actually being Batman helps Gotham more.
Yeah, I don't know what would make a good Batman movie, to be 100% honest, because it, like we've said, Batman's about the villains, and a lot of Batman villains are way too cartoonish and way too campy.
Sure.
So it doesn't give you a lot of things to work with other than creating new villains. I mean, and you can keep doing the same villains, and I'm down for that. Like, I'm ready for the next Joker movie. But 100% I am.
But if you watch like the James Gunn Suicide Squad, he makes characters that are cartoony that shouldn't work in a live action film.
Yeah,
he
but
makes them work. He's got Ratcatcher and Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, but James Gunn movies aren't dark, and Batman's dark, and I don't think you can do dark and cartoony.
Yeah.
Because Peacemaker wasn't dark, Suicide Squad wasn't dark. Guardians of the Galaxy's not dark.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is a villain who's a planet who's murdered millions of children, and it's not dark.
Yeah. So I think that's hard. And that's the biggest obstacle with Batman movies to me, which inadvertently is to me the biggest obstacle with Superman movies, because I've always hated Superman. I've never liked him. Brother was a big Superman fan growing up, and I'm just like, he can't die. Like, there's no weakness.
One.
Whatever, kryptonite. He still beats it every fucking time it's used. So there's not really.
I think it depends on like the scale of like, you know, the story. I really love Batman in a smaller scale, like just focused on Gotham, which is why the Dark Knight series were so good and why I really like this new Batman. But like with Superman, I want to see him out in space fucking shit up with like Darkseid and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like totally different class of superhero.
Yeah, where he could get beat.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's my, like I said, that's my biggest problem with him. Yeah. And I think with Batman, if you did focus more on Gotham, and there you could create more villains too if you wanted to create new ones. But even there, like Joker and the Riddler and stuff like that can be used in different ways on the streets of Gotham.
Yeah, and then there's the question: is like, does Batman himself bring harm to the city by creating all these villains because there's a Batman?
Yeah.
That is an interesting sociological experiment.
It's like, does he think, by being Batman, people are going to become all these crazy villains to take me down? So do I stop being Batman? That's what I want to see in a Batman movie.
So you can combine that with mine, right? Where he's the public servant and he's having deep conversations with Alfred.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that with Pattinson because I can't see Pattinson being
He's too young.
elected official.
Yeah, and I think he's too young early in his Batman career. I think we could have seen it with like a Batfleck.
Yes.
Without Justice League.
Yeah, I think that would have been a much better Batfleck than he's fighting Superman.
Yeah. And like at the end of his career as Batfleck, he's like jaded. Like he's like, I put the clown behind bars, but how many times does he get out or whatever?
Just kill him.
You know what I mean?
Just fucking kill the Joker.
Yeah, but I think that's like, does he head that way or does he stop being Batman? What happens?
It's because that's basically, so he's at the crossroad, right?
Yeah.
I can kill these villains and just end them because they keep coming back.
Yep.
Or if Batman's not there, there's nothing for them to fight for. There's no end goal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
what I want to see.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Who do we blame for this movie being so bad?
The producers.
Warner Bros.
Yeah, Warner Bros. 100%.
Always blame them. They always fuck up Batman.
They do.
Yeah.
We gotta sell lunchboxes and toys.
Joel Schumacher wanted to make a good movie.
Yes.
And he was told not to, and he was told to make a specific movie, and he did that.
And then he's yelling over a megaphone, remember, this is a cartoon.
Do not forget. And nobody did. Yeah, you blame the producers.
That's fair. I think we talked about this movie about as much as we can talk about. You teased me on this earlier. Let's get some IMDb reviews. I want to know what the real people had to say about this movie.
It was really hard at first because I really try to do 10 out of 10 reviews and 1 out of 10 reviews, and those just sucked ass.
I'm assuming the 1 out of 10s were comic book nerds who just...
And not necessarily just comic book nerds. They were just way too angry that this movie was bad. Like, I'm just like, guys, y'all were watching the wrong movie.
Yeah.
Like, sorry that y'all got so angry. And then the 10 out of 10s, I don't really know why they weren't good. They just weren't. But my 9 out of 10 review...
Close enough.
...is titled 2 Bat Thumbs Up.
Do bats have thumbs?
To this guy, they do. To Cheese Lover 12326. Yeah. Sorry,
There's that many cheese lovers? He had to go that deep in the numbering system?
He absolutely did. Because fucking cheese is amazing. This movie is an absolute delight. I watch it every year at Christmas and occasionally at random times during the year.
Why Christmas?
Because all the colors.
Okay.
It is very colorful.
I appreciate it more and more every time I see it. Not only does Joel Schumacher bring the Batman franchise into a whole new light, but he chose a dynamite cast. It's funny, family-friendly, and some wicked action sequences. I can't see why anyone would dislike Batman and Robin, because holy nipple suits Batman! This movie rocks. If you haven't seen it yet, rent it, or better yet, buy it. The story is awesome, and the acting is incredible. The costumes, music, and lighting are exceptional. You can't get much better than Batman and Robin. It's as good as Batman Forever.
I want to party with this guy.
No, this guy would be great for the pod. Would be great.
Cheese lover, whatever 9 numbers you had after it.
Yep, holy nipple suits. You had a good fucking review.
That guy's a homer.
Yes. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, 2 out of 10. This person's title. Want to know what Earth is made of? All the shit of everything that has ever shit in all the years of the world.
Oh my God.
All the corpses of everything that has ever lived. Dead plants, dead insects, dead dinosaurs, dead molds and fungus, dead birds, dead people. All the death of the entire life of this world. That's what Earth is. That's where we are going. Head first into the dirt, into the earth. Is this a Batman and Robin review? Is it? I'm asking you. Surely, if you cram a movie so full of A-list actors, stuffed fat and full of stars, like a sausage is stuffed with meat, surely it could spell box office success. Just fist that sausage full of meat. Fist those stars into this movie wrist deep, elbow deep, your whole arm.
I took a turn. That's going real quick.
Oh, he's turning it into a bat cave.
He's turning it into a huge bat cave.
Elbow deep. Also, the core and mantle are not made of organic matter.
Whatever. Shut up. You made that less cool. You made that less cool.
I did enjoy the review. That guy was angry.
I read that and I was like, this is the review we're doing for the pod. That was amazing.
When people write reviews like that, I want to ask them, like, why is it 2 out of 10 and not 1 out of 10?
That's what I want to know. Like, why is this not 1? My favorite part after all of that death and yada yada yada, is this a Batman and Robin review? Is it? I'm asking you. And you is the only word in this entire review that's all caps.
I don't know. You wrote it. You tell me.
I wish I was passionate about anything as he was about how bad that was.
I'm no kidding.
Yeah.
That was one of the best bad reviews I've ever read. It was amazing.
Well, that's high quality writing right there.
That is shit posting.
Now, the most important question of this podcast, and we'll start with you, the virgin. Should people watch this movie?
It's not a virgin anymore.
No. Bassal did pop his cherry.
I did. I feel like a new man. Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely worth at least one watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. If you know what you're getting into. If you're looking for something else, don't turn this on.
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend just got into movies. She really likes movies. She does not like mediocre movies. And this is far below mediocre.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
She hasn't reached that point yet. I would never show her this.
Yes, the important thing is you know what you're getting into. You're getting a goofy, campy cartoon come to life. If you've seen it before and you're on the fence, just watch the action scenes. Fast forward through the non-action scenes.
The non-action scenes do not matter. None of us can reiterate that enough. If you have HBO Max, turn this bitch on and fast forward through those scenes.
If this movie was an hour and a half and cut out 30 minutes of the non-action scenes...
Oh my god, how do we not talk about this whole pod? This was a 2-hour movie.
It did not need to be.
It was a 2-hour movie. Anyways, BJ, continue. Yes, please, cut out 30 minutes of this.
Cut out 30 minutes of the non-action scenes. This may be a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, especially for 97.
Sure.
Because they were coming out with some ridiculous shit in 97. They took a guy's face off.
I'm going to take his face
off. So yeah, that's what they were doing.
I'll rewatch this with like my kids in the future. That's when I'd ever rewatch it. And I'd like have that.
Should I watch it with mine?
100% you should. Which means you're signing up for another rewatch.
Rami would love that movie.
Oh, he would.
Yeah.
Lights.
STBY, sucks to be you.
I may be playing on my phone while they watch it.
You also may wait a couple months.
Yes.
It's like, I can't watch this shit now.
Oh, maybe I'll be like the one guy and just watch it every Christmas.
Just show them Batman Forever first.
Okay.
Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey.
Sure.
Oh, Basil, last week I got way too excited whenever we brought this up as our next pod. Because I was like, oh, this movie, it's got Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like, you're thinking about 2 movies. He's like, clearly it's been a long time since you've seen it.
Combine the two.
You could combine those 2 movies and probably make a pretty decent one.
Probably.
Yeah.
But like with Spider-Man 3, you can't have too many villains.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't have too much shit going on because it gets real bad real quick.
And this had a lot, actually. It had Bane, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze.
Bane and Poison Ivy are one and the same.
Yeah, but it also had like the whole Bat family on top of that.
Sure.
This movie did have a lot, and I think it being so cartoonish is why it didn't seem that way.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Man 3 is a very serious movie. But this movie being so cartoonish, it was like, whatever.
Well, and it had a lot of characters that you don't know in terms of their particular character.
Yeah.
So, like the Avengers has a lot of characters, but we already made a couple Iron Man movies. We already had a Thor movie. We already had a Captain America movie. Yeah. So it's a little easier to mold them together.
You got to get all these little cunts that don't read comic books or watch comic books to get them introduced to these people before you're like, here's Avengers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where this one's like, oh yeah, you know all these people, right? And we're like, no, because that Bruce Wayne is a different Bruce Wayne, whoever's playing him.
Yeah. So that was a good time.
That was a good first time.
That was a good first time.
That was a great first time.
And, like we said earlier, we got her pregnant. For sure. We went deep. Balls deep in that movie.
Bat deep in that movie.
Bat deep in that movie with 2 thumbs. 2 bat thumbs. We had one in the pink and one in the stink. And it was delightful.
Why are you making those gestures with your hands?
Because thumbs, baby. Thumbs, baby.
They're opposable.
So it was a good first time. That's us at I Remember My First Time. Next week, The Batman.
A much better movie.